Hey everyone. All right, I'm just going to cut right to the chase because there is a mistake that I see happen so often. And it is the number one reason I firmly believe that it is the number one reason that most people are not where they want to be in their business. And this applies not only to online service providers, this applies to coaches, course creators, anyone that is trying to scale any kind of a company. And it's because they're hiring backward. What I mean by that, and listen, I've got some strong opinions and I'm gonna ruffle some feathers, so hear me out, but I just ask you to listen before you fight me in the comments to hear my point and what I've got to say. So often, and one of my pet peeves in the online space is when we call out team members that are not fully committed team members. What I mean by that is someone may be your team member, but if they have 5 to 10 other clients, it is going to be very hard for them to give your business the attention that it needs in order for you to hit your goals and to be able to grow. And so, what I see happen really often with this business model is that it's upside down. Okay. Most people, and I get this, the first hire that they want to make is a virtual assistant or an online business manager. And that's amazing. And again, there are times and places as you're scaling that different hires and different people are going to come onto your team as they grow. But the reason I see businesses growing upside down is they hire other business owners that aren't invested in their business. Right? They're hiring other CEOs and other people that their job is to make money and profit. But the issue is that that type of personality and that type of person isn't going to be as invested or as committed to your own company and organization. And this is the number one way to kill the culture you've created. I truly believe that. And here's why. Listen, I'm all for different personalities. I'm all for bringing on people to balance out your strengths. But when you bring another person on that has their own vision and is wanting to grow their own thing, right? It's kind of like you're driving down the road and you're trying to decide, oh no, do I go on this? Do I take this exit? Do I take that exit? Where do I go, right? And there become more options, which can be helpful, but it also can lead to analysis paralysis and goals and tactics that may fall outside of your vision. And so the number one reason I see a lot of companies not growing as quickly as they want is because their leadership is not aligned. Their culture is not aligned. They're not all working and dedicated toward the same goals. And so while these people may be referred to, sure, you can call them your team member and whatnot. But the issue that I see with this and the association problem that I see happening really often is the ownership piece. Because at the end of the day, you cannot treat a contractor like you would treat an employee, nor can you expect the same level of ownership, the same level of precision, and to follow your processes the way that you do. And so what happens is at the end of the day, if your company, right, let's say you're a social media agency or a social media scheduler, whatever you want, a content creator, right? And there are hundreds, if not thousands of other people doing what you are doing out there. The only differentiator, most people assume that the differentiator in their business is you, but it's not. It is your systems, because I promise you that everything that you can do in your business can be replicated, it can be processed, and it's not you. And listen, you're amazing, right? If you started your business, you're pretty amazing. But what you need to know, and one of the things getting in your own way is you. Because you assume, and we all do this. I did this really early on, and I still have to retrain myself not to do this. We assume that our business begins and ends with us, and no one can do it quite like me. No one can do it quite like me, is what I hear very, very often. And the problem with this, again, is that even though the thing that is going to set you apart as a business owner and as a company isn't you, it is your processes and systems. Because at the end of the day, if you want to create a business that is an asset that you can eventually sell and surpass you have to get you out of the equation and package what you do, right? Sure, your clients may love you, but what do they love about you? Is it that you follow up once a week? Is it that you send a personalized gift? Is it that your onboarding process is very, very smooth and they know what to expect, right? Even though you might seem like the person delivering these things, these are all things that can be trained and passed on to someone else. And the problem that I see with a lot of organizations, and the reason they aren't growing as quickly as they would like to, is that they hire people that aren't necessarily dedicated to the same mission, vision, culture, and values that they are. And I've had these problems too. And I know this because I've made this mistake too. And it sets you back. And so the number one reason that you're not growing as quick as you want to is because you're hiring from the bottom up. Okay. You're hiring from the bottom up. You're hiring the roles that are the least resistance, right? And as you're getting started and you're learning how to delegate and outsource, right? There's kind of a difference there. But as you grow, you actually want to hire from the top down. You want to hire who is the strategic person or who is the person that can counteract and balance my giftings and my strengths. Who is that person who can I bring into the organization that can help me so that we can grow quicker? Because when you hire senior level roles, Joey, what is up? When you hire these more caliber and these people that are going to come into these senior level roles, right? They're going to have more ownership. They're going to have more know-how. Instead, whereas if you're just relying on maybe an admin or maybe a part-time intern, which is great. Again, there's a difference between kind of getting started and evaluating what's working, but also hiring the right people at the right time. It's why I brought in my director of operations first. It's why I brought in a content manager next. And it's because I've hired from the top down that we've had the other people that can help take me out of the things that I'm not good at and plug other people into their zone of genius so that we can build. Thank you, Joey. Because we try to build this whole house of cards, but the problem is when we're building from the bottom, and one model that I've seen that is so effective with so many different companies is this upside down pyramid, right? It comes with servant-based leadership, and that's the whole premise. But the whole philosophy of this upside down pyramid is that your CEO is at the bottom of the pyramid because they serve everyone that is potentially underneath them, right? Really, it's positioning yourself as a servant below your team. And when you build this and you build people like and go to your number twos instead of pulling people way at the bottom of the pipeline or at the top, if you're building an upside down pyramid, the point is you're able to more closely connect and train those people below you so that they can have a closer proximity relationship to the people that are going to be coming in fresh, right? So an example, we have 2 new hires that are going to be starting over the next few weeks. And the beautiful thing is because I have hired this way and I've hired for the people directly below me, or not below me, above me, we're using that, but are in the closest proximity to me and hired these leaders that are in more senior level positions, they are able to come in and train the people that are going to be coming into the organization. And so the point that I want to make really clear is that the reason you're not growing as quick as you want to is because you are not hiring people that are as committed to your company culture, mission, and values as you are. Okay. And hear me, that can be a contractor. That person can be whatever. I mean, right. I'm biased and impartial toward employees just because I love that culture. I love our team being all in. But the biggest mistake I see so often is people bring in people and they're not a cultural fit. Or they're an entry level. And it's like, I see business owners all the time try to go into it. What can I get out of my people? What can I get out of my team? And now I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant of one of my pet peeves. And it's like, oh, my team will do it. Oh, my assistant will do it, right? There's nothing wrong with delegating things that are not in your zone of genius and that you're not good at, okay? I do it all the time. The issue I see with a lot of and there's this threshold, right, of wanting to set boundaries. But the issue becomes when it becomes a cop-out of just passing stuff off and not viewing your team as equals and seeing, even if they're coming into an entry-level role, and almost seeing them as less than. And what I mean by that is, sure, there are going to be some tasks that are not as valuable. There are going to be some tasks that maybe are more menial and can be trained, right, that don't require somebody like you to be in on the day-to-day. But the issue becomes when we take all responsibility and put it on other people, but then also kind of treat them instead of serving them and lifting them up and really having those systems in place. Okay. So the number one reason you're not growing as quickly as you want to is because of 3 things. Okay. I said number 1, but I'm actually going to give you 3 things that are kind of all entwined, because the bottom line is the number 1 reason is you're not bringing in the right people that are committed to your mission, culture, and values. That's number 1. If it's a cultural fit, everything, you might have the right person. They just might be in the wrong seat or the wrong role. Okay. But the thing to remember is what is absolutely critical when it comes to growing your company is making sure that you hire from the top or the bottom, depending on which pyramid, but hire those people right hand that are committed and can support you so that they can take more ownership and getting more things off your plate. So instead of you bringing in 1,000,001 VAs, sure, you might get them for a lower price, right? You might get an administrative assistant or somebody that you find online at a lower price, right? But the problem is you hire a bunch of little mini people and even though you're spending less money, you're exerting more time to train them and the turnover is going to be so much higher because they're looking to move up. Whereas when you hire from the top down, or again, whatever pyramid analogy you want to use, it's going to help you so much because you have people that are committed to you, that want to help you grow, that believe in your vision, that can come and support you and take these things off your plate. Okay, that is all I've got for you today. I hope that this was valuable. Be sure if you've got any questions or comments, I would love to hear from you below. And if you disagree with me too, I am all ears for that. This is what I know to have been the most effective in our organization and within a lot of clients and other companies that I've seen. But I'd love to know what you think. All right, y'all, until next week.